I was just fired from my job.
So I've lost my job. I got called into the office yesterday, and told me that they could either fire me or I could put a resignation in, but that would look better. But they fired me, or they're getting rid of me because of my TikTok. Somebody screenshot a lot of my TikToks, and
I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads that I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them and I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years, building the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department from scratch, I lose my job because one of you, some random person, reports my posts to my employer, goes out of their way to find out where I work and takes my job.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my fucking job. Now I have nothing but this.
I just got fired. Kind of happy about it. You said I have to leave the premises like immediately? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, guess I'll see you guys later. I'm fired. You guys take care. Good luck, okay? Kind of relief. You guys have a good one. Oh man, I feel good. I just got fired. And honestly, when they told me, I was like a little like, eh. But then after, I was like, fuck this. They're back there having their little chat together. The guy that let me go was trying to block me from saying goodbye to my coworkers right now. Like, he was like guarding them or something. And then that's when I was like, okay, bye. Goodbye, guys. I'll see you later. They let me go. They fired me. He looked all disappointed. But honestly, dude, I feel relieved.
To the person that sent that video to corporate and got me fired, thank you. And I know that everybody is gonna see this video too, and that's okay. I'm not gonna say anything wrong. Did I realize that what I was saying in that video was going to lead to this? No, I would have never fucking done that. But it seems like with my life, no matter how hard I fucking try, I end up fucking shut up. But I know that everything happens for a fucking reason. And I may not know right now what that reason is, but eventually God will reveal that to me. I love helping addicts. I love helping people. This job stressed me the fuck out some days, but I didn't care because it was worth it, because I was helping people. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. My daughter is about to go to college, and I don't know now how I'm going to pay for that.
So as we all have seen, as we all have heard, as you've seen the compilation of videos, right? Liberals are getting fired left and right, Ninja. Jesus Christ. Liberals are getting fired left and right. But the question isn't this reverse cancellation? Isn't this basically reverse cancel culture? Right? Listen, I understand completely, trust and believe, I understand completely if a private company, right, private or public, it don't matter, if a private or public company says that, hey, we don't believe in, people celebrating, assassinations and celebrating people getting their head knocked off and all of that, this, that, and the third. Listen, you gotta abide by what the rules are saying. Right? You have to abide by what the company is saying. Now, if you have a job that you depend on, right, and you're making all kinds of crazy comments, or you're celebrating hip cheerio, Ninja, you're doing all of that. yeah, chances are if somebody gets a hold of it, yeah, your ass is gonna get fired, right? Now that's what I do believe, right? Like if you're making crazy comments, if it goes against the code of conduct of that company, if it goes against the principles and morals of that company, hey, they have every right to let you go, right? However, Ninja, I just find it quite ironic that this is the same thing that was going on in 2020, right? This is the same thing that was going on in the pandemic. This was the same thing that was going on, with the BLM scams, right? This is the same thing that was going on with the riots and all of that stuff. This is the same exact thing that was going on, right? Now the conservatives are victims. Ninja. Now it seems like the conservatives. I thought they were the strong ones. I thought they was the ones who wouldn't back down. I thought they were the ones who had a strong backbone, right? But now it's looking like the liberals. Now it's looking like the libtards are bullying the conservatives. Jesus Christ, man. The world is upside down right now. The world is completely upside down. I never thought that I'll live to see the day that the libs are bullying the cucks. Jesus Christ. Right? I thought the cucks had a backbone. Right? Everybody saying that the libtards are all soft and the libtards are dang on this and the that. Mind you, I don't care for neither one of you. However, I just never thought that I'll see the day that the conservatives will be crying and oh my God, they're sitting up here, they're bullying us and they need to get fired, they need to lose their jobs. I thought y'all was the party of freedom. Hold up. Wait. I thought y'all was the party of freedom. What happened? What happened, Ninja? Right? What happened? What happened? But you know what happened, right? You know what happened. Hypocrisy is what happened, right? Hypocrisy is what happened. Everybody wants to be a victim, right? Everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants somebody to feel sorry for them, right? Everybody believes in freedom of speech until it's somebody else's person, right? Everybody believe in freedom of speech until somebody's talking bad about them. Then now everybody want everybody to be quiet. What happened? What happened, Party of Freedom? What happened, Freedom of Speech Party? What happened? Right? So now you got liberals now on top of people getting laid off, man. This is ugly out here, man. This is getting real ugly. So on top of people getting laid off already, on top of the economy being already in a horrible position, right? Now you got ninjas getting, fired for just, and don't get me wrong. Now I've seen some horrendous stuff. I'm like, why? I don't even think that should even be said, ninja. I don't even think that should be said. However, I've seen other stuff and I'm like, that's nothing. Right? You have people reposting stuff. You have people making, right, just soft comments, right? You have people also making soft comments. Now, I've seen some hard line comments, granted, whatever. If they want to fire him, sure, whatever. But I've also seen some soft comments and I'm like, is that really worth somebody getting fired? Is that really worth somebody? When this is why we need to draw a fine line, right? When is it just freedom of speech? Right? Everybody keeps hollering freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Charlie Kirk stood for freedom of speech, right? I don't think Charlie Kirk would have wanted this. Absolutely not. If you ask me, I don't think Charlie Kirk would have agreed with this at all, right? Censoring people, right? And then all the way to the extreme of the administration telling people, hey, make sure you look for people who are making negative comments about Charlie Kirk so we can get them fired, so we can get them up out of here. And then you have a page, I believe there's a page that is collecting data on around 40,000 plus members. I mean, not members, but 40,000 plus people on social media who had something negative to say or who made a negative video or something like that. This is where we're going. This is what's happening in America now, right? I think no matter how horrendous it was, this is my personal opinion. No matter how horrendous it was, right? No matter how bad it was, I think people should be able to say whatever they feel. Point blank, period. Everybody gets to say when is the line drawn? Where's the line drawn? I've never seen a line drawn in the sand in America when it comes to freedom of speech. Everybody get to make all kinds of jokes, right? There's countless murders and assassinations, right? Posted on social media daily, right? People get to say what they want. You can make all kinds of racist comments. You can make all kinds of homo comments. You can make all kinds of comments against you know who's. You can make all kinds of comments against everybody else. But as soon as somebody that you may liked or who was in the limelight, right, get touched, then now we're drawing a line of freedom of speech. Nah, come on now. So we're just gonna start firing everybody who has something negative to say. That's what we're doing. We're just gonna start pushing people out who got something negative to say. Man, America's going down a dark, treacherous road, Ninja. Right? Because people think that, oh, it's my side, so I don't agree with it, so I want them fired. Okay, you think it stops with you. Right? This is where we get into the slippery slope. Y'all think it's gonna stop with just you. No, it's not gonna stop with just you. Because as soon as you open Pandora's box, guess what? Pandora's box is open, Ninja. Once you open Pandora's box is open. And then we all will suffer. Right? We all will suffer. This is why I believe just let people get it out. Let people get it out. People can get online and say some of the most craziest ish. Right? People can get online and say the most craziest ish. Right? The craziest ish. But for some reason, Charlie Kirk is off limits. Right, like I said, I don't agree with any political violence. I don't agree with, celebratory of death. Right. However, I believe people should be able to get their emotions out how they please. If they feel like it's worth celebrating, hey, let them ninjas celebrate. Right, let them ninjas celebrate. Motherfuckers can get online and say how they feel about blacks and Mexicans and Asians and everybody else. Right. They can get online and say what they feel about somebody. So I don't see what's the difference. What's the difference? Right? So now everything is in reverse, man. Everything is in reverse. So now the cucks are now victims. Right? The libtards are bullying the cucks into submission. Ninja, the libs are losing jobs. They're losing their livelihoods because the cucks apparently can't handle what they dish out. Right? The cucks can't handle it. Right? You would think that the cucks can handle it, right? They are cucks, right? You would think that they can sit there in their chair, right? You would think they could sit there in their chair and watch what's going on, right? They've been doing it for a minute. Right? The cucks have been sitting, loud and proud in their chair, watching the country get fucked. Right? The cucks have been sitting here loud and proud, watching the country get fucked, right? But now is where we draw the line, right? Now is where we draw the line. Come on now. To be quite fair, right? To be quite fair and to be quite honest, Ninja, I think we have bigger fish to fry in this country. I'm just calling a spade, right? Like it or love it, unsubscribe, I don't give a fuck, right? I think we have bigger fish to fry, right, than Charlie Kirk, right? Sure, he was somebody that, that meant something to, a group of people. Sure. Right. But at the end of the day, the show has to go on. Right. People are homeless. People are out here homeless. People ain't got no money. People losing jobs, getting laid off. Right. The government is fucking us left and right. Inflation is high. Groceries are high. Right. Cost of living is high. We got bigger fish to fry than just to be sitting up here fighting back and forth about Charlie dang on Kirk. I'm sorry. Somebody gotta be the truth teller. Somebody has to be the medium in between all of this. Somebody has to be the moderator in between all of this. Somebody has to be the truth teller. Because it seems like everybody has their panties up in a bunch. Listen, right? Can we all agree that freedom of speech is freedom of speech? Right? Can we all agree? If you work for an employer and you're going online and saying some crazy stuff, listen. You got to deal with the consequences of your actions. You got to deal with the consequences of your words, right? I don't care who it is, right? No, I don't feel like anybody can be hypocrites right now. Nobody can be hypocrites, right? Cucks, Republicans, conservatives, right? Same thing goes for you. Y'all stood for freedom. Y'all stood for freedom of speech, but now in freedom of speech, you want to censor everybody who's exercising their freedom of speech, right? Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, had to live and die by his words, right? You got to call it what it is. So libtards, y'all are saying that, Charlie Kirk had to deal with the consequences of his words. He had to deal with the consequences of what he said. So on the flip side, you as well, you have to deal with the consequences of what you say, right? This is what I mean by everybody's a hypocrite. This is what I mean by, everybody seems like they don't want to stand for exactly, for the truth exactly, right? I stand for the truth. And the truth is, there's consequences to words, no matter. And I made a video on this before, right? I made a video on this before, right? Words have consequences, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's what you have to live by. So cool. You want to get up here and say what you want to say. You want to get up here and diss Charlie Kirk, right? There's consequences to that. Right? Or on the flip side, if you want to get up here and praise Charlie Kirk, guess what? Some people may not feel exactly how you feel. So guess what? There's a equal and opposite reaction to that. Hey, why am I the only one that understands this? Right? Why is everybody just around here just acting like retards? Right? Why doesn't anybody understand these basic rules? Right? Humans, man. Humans. Americans, good luck. Because it seems like y'all just want to be divisive, right? And it's funny because I believe that Americans are addicted to drama. That's what I feel like. I think Americans are addicted to chaos at this point. Because chaos has been going on for so long. We're addicted to all the drama. That's all we've been fed. We're fed the social media drama. We're fed the divisiveness for as long as I've been alive. Right? We're fed it in the TV shows. We're fed it in politics. Right? We're fed it every single turn, every single way that we look. We're fed it constantly. At this point, I don't even think Americans want to be united. That's just my piece. I think Americans are too far gone. I think Americans are entirely too far gone. Nobody wants to sit down and talk. Nobody wants to sit down and actually, we need a space to where different people get to say their piece, right? Different people from different aisles, different walks of life get to say their piece, right? America, man. America. What can we do? Right? What can we do? But y'all make sure y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think. Should people be getting fired for what they have to say? And depending on what they say, because I've seen some soft stuff said. I've seen some like something simple as, well, there are consequences to the words that you put out, like some simple shit like that. I don't think that's grounds to get fired. Now, if you're talking crazy, like, yeah, F that, blah, 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 he, blah, 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 I'm glad, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you're saying some crazy going off the wall and, you represent the company, yeah, then yeah. Your ass may get fired. But anyway, that's an after pill. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.